Hey everybody, it's me, Brother Wild Bill, coming to you from inside the most dangerous prison in the Western Hemisphere, where I'm the prison's chaplain as well as an inmate. I'm serving a 46-year sentence for quintuple homicide. I was a hitter in the street from 2006 until 2010, and now I'm in prison. Well, been in here for 14 years. I always say that shit before I get started, just so anybody that's new. Um, I wanted to talk about being yourself because all of us are trying to be something we ain't. All of us, including myself sometimes, we try to be something we're not, and then it's not, and it's when it's not successful, we feel very frustrated. What do I mean by that? Well, we try to be, like, I don't know, as far as men go, we try to, like, be macho and tough and shit like that all the time, and you know, it's really not always the case. It's really not always how you feel. I'm not in favor of sensitizing men. I'm against that. If anybody listens to me very long, I think that men should be masculine and we should resurrect John Wayne. But at the same time, a lot of times men and women in different ways go around trying to be tougher than they really are, trying to project an attitude of tough. If you see somebody that's projecting a really tough attitude, it's because inside they're like a scared child, you know. Because a motherfucker that's really a badass doesn't have to project any kind of a badass attitude, and because he's comfortable with himself. But and there's other ways as well that that we go about projecting images of ourselves and even to ourselves. And it's hard when you get to the point where you stop and you really just be honest with yourself, and you do a self-assessment, and you're honest with yourself of who you really are. You can be happy that way. I know that I tried to be like a Christian minister, and I still am. But the Christian community is never going to accept me ever, and I'm not able to conform to what they expect of me. I'm not going to eat shit for the rest of my life, and so not getting down on Christ. Love Jesus. Jesus is the best. Um, but the Christian community is a little tough on me, actually, and so and I understand why, because what they want is something really different than what I want. And I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe in honest relationships between men and women. I believe that men should be masculine again. I believe these are things that I know about myself. You know, I can be myself that way. I know that you'll have more success in dating. You'll have more success with jobs if you just be yourself. Because trying to portray an image, somehow we can all pick up on that lie. When you're not honest with yourself, everybody else can pick up on the lie as well. Like, you see somebody that is like very egocentric. That person is compensating because they feel empty on the inside and feel like they're not worth very much. So they want everybody else to see them as worth a whole lot. I have this problem myself. I mean, I had it. Maybe I still do. I don't know. But from time to time, I find that I do. My ego is really big, and I have to keep that fucker in check, you know. But when we stop and we realize that we're not our thoughts, first of all, we are not our thoughts. Your thoughts are not you. Your thoughts, your brain, your mind is just a machine that's running constantly. It's like a computer that's running constantly. The person observing deep inside of you, that's who you really are. You're the observer. You're even observing yourself. Like when somebody, like let's say your significant other does something that pisses you off. It's really not a big deal, but you make this huge fucking deal out of it. I do this occasionally. Um, then like later you stop and you analyze it and like, why did I get so pissed off? Because it was such an insignificant thing. And the answer is because you're letting the mind drive and not letting letting the your real self in the driver's seat, because the mind, the ego, is bullshit. It's a bullshit invention of your thoughts, because your thoughts are not who you are. And where are your thoughts? We don't know. So, at the risk of rambling, which I have been doing a bit of that here in this recording, I'm aware. I want to say, like, when you meet somebody new, be yourself. Don't try to paint yourself as more or less than you are, because we do both things sometimes. Sometimes we think so little of ourselves that we don't assert ourselves, but more often than not, we try to build ourselves up to be something we're not. You are acceptable just exactly like you are. You don't have to be something for somebody else. So that's one thing. And then another thing is that we should all be doing some auto analysis of who we are and what we are. and put that ego in check. Because when we let the ego drive, we're miserable, absolutely miserable. We feel miserable. I feel miserable. My ego drove a little bit yesterday, and I had a not a fight, but like a and not a screaming match or anything, but like a what's the word? An argument with another fellow. And then later, I felt really stupid about it because it was a stupid argument. I didn't have any business sticking my beak in there in the first place. And so I even apologized to him today because I thought, even though even though I think that he owed me an apology, I apologize to him because I know I should have not allowed my ego to run that conversation. You know, and I feel good. After I apologized about it, I feel good. I feel great. So a lot of the times when something happens, we blame everybody except for ourselves, and then we're miserable. So the auto examination, the auto analysis of your actions, behavior, who you are, your thoughts, even, is really really beneficial, and we should do a little bit of that every day, especially at night. I think it's important in the morning, but it's even more important at night to get a grip of what actually happened during the day. Anyway, so be yourself. Don't be somebody else. And if you need help with that, then come and join our group. We have a group on WhatsApp. It's a support group where everybody's welcome. And there's a link in the description box below. You just tap that link and you're right there. That's the first thing. Second thing is that I want you to go buy my book because one, I need money, and two, you need to be entertained. So the link for my book, Long Live the King Wild Bill, is in the description box below. And then you can join us on Facebook or YouTube. Those links are also in the description box below. So like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Tell me what you think.